Good morning to you. It's a beautiful bank holiday Monday here at Gemini Crafts. It's Jenny McCormack with you this morning, and I live in Brackley, a small market town in the centre of Northamptonshire, which is in the centre of the UK. Morning, Laura. I hope you're well. So I thought I know it's a bank holiday here, but these days it makes little difference. And also a lot of people, well, those that are working may well be at home today. So I thought I'd just carry on as normal. Lovely to see you, Lynn. So I thought today I'd look at the new in colours that are coming out in our new catalogue, which starts next week. On the 3rd of June, that's Wednesday next week. So I thought I'd share with you, go through the colours. Morning, Tracy. And for any of my customers who are receiving catalogues, they will receive a little thank you card and a bookmark. Morning, Jeanette. Morning, Carol. Using the new in colours. So I thought I'd show you how I made the card, and also do another one with some designer paper, because it's a very quick way of making cards, multiple cards, especially this size. So I thought I'd share that with you, as well as showing you the in colours. I do also have an in colour sample pack that you can order now. Oh, bless you, Rebecca. Enjoy the sunshine while you can. Enjoy the rest. Morning, Baz. So I have a new in colour sample pack that you can order now. I'll have details of that towards the end. So I hope everybody is keeping well and managing to get a little bit of downtime. Let us get cracking. Okay, so as you can see, hi Jacqueline, these are the new in colours. So each year Stampin' Up bring out a set of 5 in colours, and these are very much colours that are on trend, and these are in addition to our standard colour families which go through the catalogue excuse me, right the way through, and they sort of change every 5 years or so, but the basic colour families are the brights, the subtles, the regals and the neutrals. All of this information is in the catalogue. Morning, Heather, and morning, Molly. But in order to keep up with changes in style and fashion, we have new in colours every year, but those in colours stay for 2 years. Morning, Molly, morning, Jill, and Carol. So these are it's a bit of a mouthful, the 2020 to 2022 new in colours. And I've made a bookmark here. Hopefully you can read the names. So we have cinnamon cider, a nice warm brown. We have just jade, speaks for itself, bumblebee, magenta madness, and that really is like a bright hot pink, and misty moonlight is almost like a jeans colour, a sort of denim colour, very similar to denim dapper that we had a while ago. Yes, it's easy to forget it's a Monday, Jill, and a bank holiday at that. So there's my little bookmark showing the colours, and all of my customers get one of these. And then my little thank you card, what I've done is I've taken the pieces of card in each of those colours, cut them into strips, which you'll see later, lay them down onto a piece of card, and then I put it through a new embossing folder, which is this one here, and I appreciate you can't see this in detail. It's called Tasteful Textile, and we do have one called Subtle, which is a very subtle embossing folder which embosses the card. You do need a die cutting machine or an embossing machine for it, but this is Subtle Plus, if you like. So it makes it look like watercolour paper in my and that'd be my best description. If I put a piece of standard card, so this is how the card was before it went through the embossing folder, and then there it is. So it makes it look really watercolour, so it's a lovely embossing folder. So I'm going to be using that, and also I'm going to show you this new little label punch as well. So back to the in colours. So Stampin' Up have coordinated products with the in colours, as they do with all of the other colour families. So what I'm showing you here are similar to the other colour families. These are just 5 colours. The colour families are 10 colours. So the first thing we have obviously is cardstock. Now the cardstock comes in A4 sheets, and what I've done for these is I've cut the A4 sheet in half and scored it in half to make some A6 cards ready to work on. Okay, so there's the colour card. Then we have our designer paper. So this is the new style of designer paper. So you get, in a normal pack, you get 40 sheets. And one has text on. And on the other side it's got a wood grain. And then we have these polka dots that are sort of striped. And then a sort of fabric faded denim look, for want of a better word. It could also be like a painted surface. So you get those in all of the 5 colours. So here's the Just Jade. If you're wondering what the words say, it's part of the Stampin' Up Statement of the Heart, which is to love what we do and share what we love. Okay, it's quite fine text, and it's in lots of different languages. And then on the reverse, as I say, we have the wood grain and the dots with the fabric look. So here are the 5 colours. So there's Misty Moonlight, very much like a denim, especially when you see this one here. Good fabric look to it. And then we have Magenta Madness, as you can see, a bright hot pink. And then Cinnamon Cider is like a warm brown. Slightly pinky tones, I would say. It's very slightly pinky tones. So we have papers. And then of course we have to have coordinating ribbon. And this is like a cotton ribbon. It's really nice. Very soft. Okay. And you get those in all the 5 colours as well. Now the ribbons come, all of these, the ribbons come separately, so you can buy individual colours. The cards you can buy separately colours, or you can buy a pack of mixed colours. And then the papers come as a complete pack of mixed papers. And then the final embellishment are our enamel dots in the colours. It's quite difficult to see because obviously they're glossy. And you get 60 of those. I've cut this in half because all of these go into my sample pack, and I wanted to show you exactly what you get. But these are self-adhesive in the colours. And if I show you my card, which is buried under here somewhere, she says, okay, it's not, there it is, oh, sorry. So what I've done with this little label is I've popped one each of those enamel dots on each side, and it just fits in really nicely with that little curve on the tag. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? I'm not quite sure which one I like best. I like Misty Moonlight and Bumblebee. I'm a bit of a yellow fan, but yeah, the magenta is nice too. Okay, so those are the in colours. I'll talk about the sample pack at the end, and let me show you how I created my card. Got a very annoying fly. So for this card, what I've done, hello Isabel, is I've cut up a strip of each of the colours. I put the card here, you can see what we're making. And these strips are 1.8 centimetres. Now, the only reason I've done that at 1.8 centimetres, which seems quite an odd measurement, is I want to fit them onto this 10 by 10 centimetre card, and I want a border around them. Otherwise, I could have done them at 2, but this card is just under 10 centimetres. So what I've done is I've, as I say, trimmed those down, and I wanted to put them on a piece of black backing to make them really stand out. So what I've done is I've got just a piece of A4 black card, and what I'm going to do is literally just stick these layers down like so. Okay, with glue. Now you could, if you had a bigger card, you could leave a little bit of a gap. That would be quite stunning. Yes, Jill, it is the same fly at 185. Or you can push them together. Now obviously, because of the size of my card, I'm actually going to butt these up together. And you can leave a little bit of a gap, or you can put it right up to the end. It's entirely up to you, because I'm actually going to mount it onto another, morning Linda, piece of black card. So by mounting it onto black, it means that if you have got any bits showing, they will disappear onto the black. Okay, so I'm just going to work out which order I want these in. Now I've done that in that order, but I might change those round a little bit, put them in that order just for a change. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just take my multi-purpose glue, just move these out of the way, and just apply glue to the strip, not to the card, otherwise it tends to go everywhere. And I'm just going to add a scribble of glue. As you can see, oops. Okay, oops, turn that over, position it on here. Let's see where the edge is. There it is. And I'm just going to do the same all the way down. Now this is a great way of using up colours of card that you've got plenty of, or where you've got maybe some colours that you don't use very often, you don't like. So this is quite a good way to be using those up. So I'm just sliding this into place. That's why I would definitely use wet glue for this, and pushing it down. So this is A4 that I'm using. Let's have the yellow next. And I'm sort of scribbling over so that as I slide it in, the glue will sort of move itself around. So popping it in and then just sliding it in to butt it up so that you're not overlapping. Okay, and that keeps it nice and straight. And the nice thing about this is we're going to get 3 cards out of this. So if you're doing it on a complete A4, you could get 6 cards. Yep, let's do it that way. I've got the windows open today, so you can hear the birds. You can hear my dog in the garden. And you can hear people passing by if they're talking loudly. There we go. And then the last one's going to go onto there. So you can do this with designer paper. You can do it with a combination of paper and card. So I've got another sample to show you to make with paper. There we go. So really easy, literally just strips. So these are 1.8 centimetres. This is to fit this card, but there's nothing to stop you doing it A4 and then cutting it in half and making 2 larger cards from it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is cut this up and then pop it through the embossing folder. Now my recommendation for cutting this, because you've got 2 layers of card, but also because you've got some ridges between them, I always cut it on the reverse side, so the blade is going onto the potentially the more flat side, if that makes any sense. I am going to cut off this little strip on the side first, so I'm just lining that up. Hi Nicole! On my trimmer. So just getting rid of that. I'm not worried about that little bit there spare, because it's going to be hidden under on the black card. So I'm going to turn this over, and my measurement for this I think is 9 centimetres. Let me just measure it on here. Yep. So I want my coloured panel to be 9 centimetres each. So I am going to trim the very end, because I know I've got plenty to play, just so that if I have got any uneven borders, they are removed. So I'm going to turn this over, so I'm cutting from the back and I'm sliding this up to the 9 centimetre. Can you see that okay? Morning Maureen. So there's 9 centimetres. And to do that, so there's one. Cassie. And then another one. At 9. And you can see how good the trimmer is. It's cutting through all of those layers in one, not even having to do it in 2. So you can see here where I've got an odd edge. Okay, now the nice thing about this is that you can cut this into another little strip. Let's cut it at, say, 2 centimetres. Oops. Move that out of the way. Like so, for example. And then if you've got a couple of those, you can put these together and make a checkerboard panel. So take the next one and reverse it, etc., etc. So you can make another card out of those pieces. Okay, so what that gives me are 3 panels of the in colours, but obviously these could be anything. So what I want to do now is pop it through the embossing folder. So I'm going to use this new one, Tasteful Textile, and it doesn't matter which way I put that in. Okay, there is a one-way design, but to be honest, you could, it's well, if you can see here, it goes one direction very, very slightly, but it doesn't really matter which way you put it in, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to run that through my die cutting machine. I'm not going to do it on here because otherwise it will just take time for me to load it up. So I'm just going to run it through. There we go. So now if I bring that back out, you can see the difference. I'll just bring these up to the screen. Really nice embossing folder, that one. Really like it. Okay, and also you could put these through the same one. And then what I'm going to do, is layer this onto my piece of black card. So this card is 9.5 centimetres square, and the card I'm going to pop it on is 9.9, so I'll get a nice narrow border. Now what I'm going to do is when I put it on, I'm actually going to have this vertically so that when I put my little thank you message on, it's going across. I just wanted that contrast. So I'm going to pop this onto the black layer first. So I've obviously already got the black on the back. And I would definitely recommend putting it on a layer first. You can hear the ridges in that, can't you? Okay, and this is where using black, you can just see a little line there, will just disappear on this card. If I'd used white or another colour, then it would show up. Okay, so I'm going to put this on there. Hi Julia, hi Marie, like so. And then I'm going to do my little sentiment label. So I'm just using wet glue for all of these just to make it easier to apply and line up. And then position that on there. Keep my finger underneath it until I've got it where I want it, and then press it down. Like so. Oh, yes, they do chatter rather a lot, don't they? Oh. Somebody's clapping for somebody. There you go, I have no idea why. Okay, so there's my base card. Now I'm going to do my little sentiment tag. And this is using a new punch. This punch is called the Lovely Label Punch. It's quite difficult to see what it will do, but it does 6 different sizes of tags. Each of the 2 different styles has 3 slots. One is for 1 inch, then you have 3/4 of an inch and 1/2 inch. If I pop that one in there, you can see. So what you do is you cut a strip of card to either 1 inch, 3/4 or 1/2, and then you slide it into the channel. If I turn over, I appreciate you can't see in detail because I've already cut this one, but you can just make sure you line it up at the top and then punch it out. This is perfect for layering. So these 3 are these 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure I get them high enough for you to see them. Okay, and then you've got another 3 here. And the nice thing about it is each of these, I appreciate you can't see it in black, will layer on top of the other. And you get a different edge for each one. So I'll feature that in a bit more detail. It is £21 in the new catalogue, and it will do, as I say, 6 different styles of label tag. So I pre-cut one that I'm going to use now, and then I'm going to stamp a sentiment from another new set. This is fantastic. I'll be using this next week. It's called Blossoms in Bloom. It does have matching dies, but I really like this set of flowers, watercolour flowers, and I also like these sentiments, which is perfect for coffee and card and quick narrow sentiments. So I'm going to use the thank you, but we've got happy birthday, thinking of you, sure do miss you, that would be rather good at the moment, hello, thank you, I like you a lot, and get well soon. We've got quite a few get well soon sentiments this time. So I'm just going to stamp the thank you, which I preloaded onto my block. So I'm just inking that up. And I'm going to punch this out with our classic label punch. I'm going to do 2 while I'm here, because I'm going to do one for my next card as well. So for my next card I'm going to do the same thing, but with designer paper, just to show you how you can use up designer paper. Pop the lid out of the way. So I'm just going to use our label punch to punch these out. You could cut them. What I'm going to do is punch them and then cut them. One. And I might as well do the other one while I'm there. Okay. Now I could actually just leave that as it is. Okay, this one would be better to leave as it is because it's more central. Okay, so I think I'll do that for this one, just for something different. And then I'm going to put those little enamel dots on the end. I'm going to use wet glue. Hello Marion. Here. Just to pop that onto there. Roughly central. And then I'm going to use our new enamel dots in each of these little edges. So let's go for let's go for bright magenta madness. Hi Ruth, nice to see you. So I'm going to put one on there and one on there, like so. And then as I pop this onto my card, I am going to raise that up with some dimensionals just to make that a little bit more interesting. It just throws a bit of shadow and looks at... Oh yes, I can't do anything about that, but I suppose it's quite nice. Let's use some dimensionals. And these dimensionals fit that layer perfectly. Just make sure that you turn them so that the flat side is there as opposed to the pointed side. Oh, bless you. Good idea. We all love happy mail from Ruth. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there. There we go. So there's my finished in colour card, like so. So just to remind you what I did, I took, oh goodness, took some strips of 1.8 centimetre card. I attached it onto, using glue, onto an A4 card, like so. I then cut them up into strips that are 9 centimetres each. Okay, and then layered it onto some black card. Hi Julia. I can shut my there's a lot of discussion going out there today. Everybody's walking and talking at the same time. Okay, so there is my in colour card to show off the in colours, and all my customers get one of those together with the bookmark, like so, to remind them and keep in their new catalogue. So let me show you the same design of card but with some designer paper. This is a great way of using up designer paper, and also I've got 2 others ready to go, so it makes a really quick way of doing three cards, or 6 cards if you do a full A4 sheet, or 4 cards if you do them, cut them as a C6. Had to think about that. Okay, so just to show you the same thing again in terms of the style of card, I have these lovely papers from the Ornate Style and Ornate Thanks suite. I'm going to mount these onto some green card, and I've got a white card base. So let me do exactly the same thing. Let me know if that's out of your sight or anything. Try not to get too close to myself. So these have got some lovely design. So what I was thinking is having 2 plain and 3 patterned. So I was thinking for the colours that I've got is probably this one, this one, there. So we've got the little flowers. Actually I might swap that out, balance that set of colours. These are just so pretty. I had these in my class in a box for May, and they were just such a pretty design. Hello Kim, nice to see you. So that's the combination I'm going to use. I think I'm trying to think. I'm trying to move these daisies so I've got them in different places. Sorry. I'm going to put the daisies on the outside and then this one in the middle. Not that it really matters, to be honest. There we go. I'm probably back where I started, aren't I? Okay, they will do nicely. So exactly the same treatment. I'm going to put wet glue on the reverse. Look at that lovely gold foiling. So this set of papers came out early of the catalogue, and they're in the new annual catalogue. All of the other papers will retire next week, so if there's any current papers that you like, now is the time to grab them. Some of them are reduced. Okay, so this sheet of paper is 12 by 12, and obviously my card is A4. Oh, I'll move those around. There we go. Oh, that's pretty too. If you like daisies and little flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Applying them, slide it into place, like so. And I know a lot of people don't always like wet glue, but the secret is just a little, so that it doesn't squeeze out behind everything. So a scribble of glue is my description. Okay, you shouldn't see any height to it. There we go. I hope you can see that all right. Let me know that it's all in view. There we go. And that one to finish. So this is a great way of using up, as I say, scraps of card. So there's my scribble. Alright, that's all you want to see. You shouldn't see, if you turn it on its side, you shouldn't be able to see any height of glue. Hello, Brenda. All in view. Thank you, Lynn. There we go. So just sliding those up to each other. There we go. There's our panel. So what I'm going to do is cut that up. And as I said before, you want to trim off this edge first. Otherwise you've got to trim 3 pieces. So you might as well do it in one go. So, and it doesn't matter if it's over a little bit. Like so. Just trimming that excess off. You could cut it to size to start with, but then I always think you're asking for trouble. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over and cut it so that I'm not cutting against all the lines with the top of the blade. So I turn it over like so, and this is going to be 9 centimeters, like that. There we have it. And I might as well do the others. Now you could, I've just used designer paper on all of these, or card for the others, but you could very easily mix and match. So if you didn't have much designer paper, or you thought it was too busy, then what you could do is swap 2 of these out, for example, for cardstock. Okay, so if you only got small strips left, don't do all 5, do 3 and 2, for example. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one of those, this one here. I'm going to pop it through that embossing folder again. So this is Tasteful Textile. This is $8.25, so really good value embossing folder. Just going to pop that in there. I'm just doing this off screen. There we go. There we have it. So it looks like fabric. If I show you, this is the you probably can't see this as well on this. This is the one that hasn't been embossed, and this is the one that has. If I turn it over, you can see a little bit better the difference between the two. Okay, it just gives a really nice effect. The other good thing about doing that is it makes sure that these are nice and laid down on your card, because the pressure of the embossing folder squishes it all in together. It's a bit like quilting, isn't it? Somewhat easier though. Then you get a really nice finish. So I'm going to do the similar thing as I did with my other one. So I'm going to lay this onto the green. As I say, that way if I've got any edges which are not quite accurate, the green will just disappear. Okay, this is really pretty. I might have to go back to my retiring papers and do a whole load of these. As I say, you could do, so these are just under 4 inches square, but you could easily do them A6 if you wanted to. You could also do larger squares. just, all you need to do is just work out, divide the square size by 5 to work out the width of each of those strips. Okay, I'm going to mount this onto that tiny little bit of black, literally literally just an edge, like so, because I want it to stand out against the white card. You could obviously mount this on coloured card as well if you wanted. And then we'll add the little thank you message on the top. So there's my scribble. I managed to scribble on the table. Dear. There we go. And literally is a tiny bit. This one. So, hi Ginny, hi Barbara. I'm just going to work out which way I like it. That one, I think, with the bold design on the left, going slightly smaller on the right. So again, my scribble of glue. And this is going onto my white card. Oh, Sarah, how lovely to see you. Oh, I miss you too. It's been ages since I've seen you. Well, last year, indeed. So I do have my class in a box now, Sarah, so you can carry on your crafting at home. There we go. So there's that layer. And then I'm going to add my little sentiment. I did think about doing that in green, but I decided that wasn't really going to stand out enough. And here's my little thank you. I'm just going to chop this with scissors because I deliberately didn't do it in the centre. Morning, Babsy. Nice to see you. And Scylla, nice to see you. Okay, that's just going to pop onto there. So we're talking about the new in colours, really, but I couldn't resist making some other cards at the same time, just to show you how versatile this sort of design is. So just positioning that on there. Thank you, Babsy. So that was the in colour one that I've done with the new colours. So let's pop some colour onto this. Now, as luck would have it, this colour in this paper is Bumblebee. So I'm going to use Bumblebee enamel dots. These are so sweet, and they're quite flat as well. So they won't make any difference in postage. You know, they're not like the gems, which are quite tall. There we go. So that one's going to go onto there. Yes, so I was talking about in colours, really. So let me pop this up. But I decided I wanted to do the same design with some papers to show people that you can make it more interesting with papers rather than just card. So I'm just popping 2 dimensionals on the back, peeling those off. Hello, Kim. And that's going to go onto there, like that. Okay, thanks Jill, thanks for joining us. So Jill's going, Kim's joined us. So exactly the same design for making the cards. Okay, so strips of card onto A4. These are 1.8 centimetres wide. Okay, all papers you can use, and then chop them up in the other direction at 9 centimetres. So you get a 9 centimetre square panel. and then I've mounted that onto a 9.5 centimetre square card, and then the whole thing onto a white, it's actually 9.9 centimetres, because then you can get 3 out of an A4. So if you joined us part of the way through, you can see how I made these cards. So I've used the Tasteful Textile embossing folder to get that embossed effect. Really makes a difference. If I show you the with and without, it really just brings it to life, doesn't it? It's amazing what difference that can make. Okay, so what I like to do is just finish by showing you my in colour sampler pack that's available to order now. I can't order the products until the catalogue goes live, but I can take your orders in preparation. So this is what you get with my in colour sample pack. It means you get a little bit of everything. So let me reach across. You get 10 A6 card bases. You get the 5 colours, and you get 2 of each. So this pack is enough for 10 cards with some left over. Okay, obviously the card bases will make it exactly. So you get 10 card bases, and they will be cut and scored ready for you. You'll get the 10 sheets of designer paper, 1 of each of the styles in each of the 5 colours, and the styles are the dots on one side, the sort of fabric denim on the other, the wood grain, and the words. Okay, so you get 10 sheets of those. So obviously that's plenty to make 10 cards. You can cut that down at about 9.5, and then you get another strip. So you could do that and then make a whole series of these cards with the bits left over. You get a yard each, and I say approximately because the pack is just over 10 yards. And all I do is literally fold it into equal numbers, so rather than measure it. So you get a yard each of the 5 colours. So this lovely cotton ribbon. I can't see the others. Oh, on the floor, that's why. So there's the Magenta Madness Cinnamon Cider. And then you also get, hello Fiona, 50 each. It's not 50, is it? 30. No. Oh, it's 50, sorry. Because you get 10 of each of the 5 colours of the enamel dots. So they come on this backing sheet, okay. It is one pack cut in half, okay, just to keep the cost down and for you to have a little, you know, there's plenty on there for your 10 cards, and includes that. So all of that you can have for £12 if you're able to collect from me, or if you order from me on a regular basis and would have a delivery normally. Or if you would like it posted out, it's £13.50, and that's because it needs to go large letter because of the size. So if anybody's interested in that, I'll put the details up as a separate post on my Facebook page. So that's my in colour sample kit. So there's plenty in there. You can make at least 10 cards and have plenty of embellishments and ribbon left over, and some paper. So there we are. So I hope that's been really useful to you. Oh, now the phone's going. No doubt a sales call, I suspect. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. These were the cards that we made. here. This one here with the papers, and this one here to show you the in colours. Now if you're a customer of mine, your catalogue will be on its way tomorrow. They're all ready to go in the post. You'll get one of these bookmarks, and you'll also be getting the card. And yes, I will be doing paper share of the new papers as well in the catalogue. So I hope that's been useful for you. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you might give this style of card a go. Really quick and simple. Just cut some strips out, lay them down, cut them out, and away you go. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoy your bank holidays too. And I shall be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. So stay safe, look after each other, look after yourself, and keep crafting. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.